you look at it, those of us in diaspora, all we do is we try to put out words and put out, hey, this is what we should be doing. Hopefully one day we will get a leader that really listens and say, let me find the right people and put them in the right places so that we can get something done.
You know, you see, it's really quite sad now, because you imagine, say, maybe in Nigeria, a country like Italy is attacking Nigeria militarily. Do we really have a defense? I mean, can we boast of producing our weapon to defend the territory? Because I can tell you, if France is attacking Italy, Italy will be able to produce enough weapon to hold it until they can request for someone outside. This is 21st century, 2022. Do we really have, can we really say we can defend ourselves? We can't even boast of food. We can't feed ourselves. What are we lacking? We are just begging people to come and help us? I don't understand the logic.
That right there is the problem, because, like you said, God forbid some superpower tries to invade us. There's really not much we can do except to do what some of our people already do now. They go on Facebook and say, America, come and help us. Or they go somewhere and say, Britain, why are you standing by and this is happening to us? And I'm like, excuse me. You got to do something to help yourself. Everybody, the world has come to where everybody should fight for himself or herself. But we just are not serious enough. I don't think our leaders are serious enough. I don't even think that our leaders are asking these questions that you asked. They are not even asking these questions, because if they're asking these questions to themselves, they will be troubled. Because even as you are asking the question, I became troubled, and I'm sure you are troubled because
really?
You know the answer. You know the answer to the question. You know the answer. You know the answer. You know that they can just come and wipe us out, and it will be like we never existed.
It's frightening. A simple thing could be, for example, in Ukraine right now, there are all sort of weapons that go to Ukraine thanks to different producers of weapons in Europe and other parts of the West. These are not weapons coming from the United States, which means every country in Europe know how to produce their weapon. Why can't Africa also learn how to produce that? Or is it a crime for us to know how to produce weapon? Or so that the United States will not say, they are producing weapon? Or so that we need to be buying the one that is coming from US? What if one day we do not do what the US want us to do? What if we say we want to be taken from Russia? What if one day we offend them? At that time, there is a war against Nigeria. Who is going to save us? We would pray?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what people think. Well, it's a serious question. It's a serious issue, but sometimes people overlook the seriousness of it. People, we look at other countries to provide for us, and we forget that each country is basically in competition with the other country. If you are asking your competitor to provide for you, you have to remember that when they provide for you, they are going to do so with conditions. And they are going to do so based on how they like it done. So if they have grade 1 weapon and they have grade 2 weapon, they may decide that what they'll give you is grade 2 because they don't want you to use grade 1 to attack them. It's just, yeah.
It's normal, no?
Yes, it's normal. But these are things that our people just don't think about it. Our leaders just don't think about it because they are busy focusing on themselves. If they would just sit one day and think about the country, really think about the country, then they'll realize that, look, things have to change.
It's quite unfortunate because look at me. I did not receive any training. I don't have any military training. I didn't receive any inter training. But I know that tomorrow, if a country like France, if a country like Germany, if a country like Italy were to invade Nigeria, we will be wiped out.
Yep. Yep.
If ordinary me can know this, the people at the helm of affair should be building a very high wall of defense to make sure that we are ready, standing on our gate to identify who is coming in. Are you an enemy or are you a friend?
Well, unfortunately,
all right. Now that leads us to another thing that responsible people should do, which is about food. Anyway, we're not even going to dig much about that, but about the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Does what is happening in Ukraine have any effect in terms of economy to African countries, say maybe Nigeria, for example, in any significant way?
Yes, of course, of course. You know that Ukraine is usually seen as the food basket of the Western world. And not only the Western world, they also supply to Africa. Sunflower, for instance, a lot of things, sunflower oil, a lot of things come from Ukraine. And now we cannot get those things because we don't have them ourselves, we don't produce them ourselves. So it's going to be tight. And after the war, the richer countries will even scramble for these things, and we will just get the crumbs because really we don't. What negotiation power do we have to be able to say, "Hi, give us a greater share of the resources"? We don't. So it's a very serious. But here's the key thing. The key thing is that it shouldn't be like that, because Africa has almost everything it needs. Natural resources, most of the natural resources in the world are located in Africa. Agriculture-wise, our lands are the best in the world. It should not be like that. But we are just not doing the right things, number one. Number two, we are depending on our competitors to help us, which is the wrong way to look at stuff. Because our competitors will either say they will not help us, or they will help us with conditions, or they will help us according to what's good for them. And that's why we are losing out.
I never understand how we look like children, like infants, like people who need to be spoon-fed. Because how come we couldn't make plan for this? How come we couldn't realize that one day it's quite strange, no? It's really strange.
I know. I know it's mind-boggling because this is something that the average household here does for itself. Here, the average household in the US, they think about the future. They think about, what if there is snow tomorrow and I'm not able to go out for 3 days? How do we survive? What if something happens and mom and dad are not able to work? How do we survive? But in our place, our nation, the whole nation, the leaders don't think like that. It's a very sad situation. But like I said, we can't keep quiet. We have to keep, you have to keep talking about it. You have to keep discussing it. You have to keep bringing forth solutions. And hopefully one day we will begin to get the right leaders who will actually look at it and say, hey, even if we start to do the right thing incrementally, eventually we'll get there.